All right. I think most of us have joined already, so let's get started. Welcome to Office Hours 9, guys. I think this we've been doing this for a while now, and we're happy that a lot of you all have been joining for updates about our releases. And yeah, so this in this release, we'd be talking about um, fine-grained resource control for projects. And this might not be new for most of y'all, but as you all know, we've launched the new UI in Facets a while back, and we just wanted to showcase those features to you as well. Yep. So before we head into each of these features in detail and their demos, I'd like to introduce our speakers for the day. So we have Anindya from the product team and myself again from the product team. Yep. So we'll be covering these two in detail. We'll probably go over the benefits of map resources to project type, and then we'll probably head into the live demos for each of these features. So without further ado, let's get started. So please keep dropping your questions in the meanwhile, and we will take it up towards the end. Yeah, over to you, Ananda.
Yeah, thanks, Ali. So, we all know what project types is. So I'm guessing people who are on new UI, every time you create a project, you have to start from base, right? You create the base blueprint. But if you want to create a base blueprint which you want to extend and reuse it to multiple projects to get a head starter, you can do it via project types. In the project types, now we have added a feature called mapping your resources. For a quick example, let's say you have a project, and if you remember, there is a base blueprint and you have a resource list on the right hand side. But there is no way right now to restrict a set of users within that resource list. For example, let's say you don't want Elastic Cache for Redis flavor to be there in your resource list because there is no use within your organization. So what you can do, I will just share my screen and show you how you can do it. Yeah, so this is the screen where you can see all your project types, right? Listed everywhere. Now you will see a button on the right hand side which says manage modules. So let's take this project type. Let's say this is a project type. The name is test custom resource. By default, all the modules are allowed in this. You click on that button and now you will be presented with the screen where you can see all the resources and everything is checked by default because allowed by default. And let's take the example which I just talked about. Let's say I don't want Elastic Cache for my project. So what I can do, I can just find it in the list. I can filter by intent. If I just want to see all the Redis flavors I have, I can just filter by intent. Or what I can do, I can just search here itself, Elastic Cache, and I will be presented with the module. I can just uncheck it, save my option, and then if you go back to the module screen, now you can see now it's not all modules are selected. You have unticked the Elastic Cache. Now let's see if it has been unmapped or not. What is the project which is listed with? It's resource mapping. So I will just quickly go to the project which is resource mapping, and I will just wait for it to load. Just a minute. Okay. So what I will do, it's not working. I will create a new project with that project type and start from there, right? So let's create a new project. I'll just quickly add a description. I will select project type. The project type was test custom resource. I will just unselect all the environments for now and create the project with it. Yeah. So now you can see all the resources, right? But the Redis should not be presented by default. So Redis is there, but you can see Elastic Cache is not there because we have unchecked from the resource list. Just like that, you can uncheck any flavor or you can uncheck the whole resource intent also. So this is the feature we have built. And another thing in project types, right? It's for now we have built this. There are a few more things which we are working on in general. For example, a clone feature which is coming on inside the project type. And for example, you have created a project with a project type. If you want to change the project type later also after the creation of the project, that also you can do. So now it's disabled, but in the coming feature on the coming releases, you will be able to change the project type as well. So keep an eye for all those features. And if you can see our documentation is also updated, just go to our documentation project types. And if you scroll down, map resources to project type section, you will have all the details how to do it. You will have a demo how it works. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop in. We will like to answer. I hope that helps.
Yeah. So the second part of this demo is just to sort of give you all a walkthrough um, of our new UI, right? Let me just quickly share my screen. So the agenda here is that most of y'all might be already using this, but for those of y'all who are using the old UI, we just want to sort of go through some of the benefits of using the new UI, and also all the new features that we would be developing and support for them will be only available in the new UI itself, right? So let me quickly actually show you guys some of the features. Yep. So I think one of the most important features is you can now actually configure your resources with intuitive forms, right? So right now, maybe some of you are using the JSON mode to actually configure these resources. But if you want some of the developers to configure this by their own while they're deploying this, or you can use the form mode. That's where this is most useful. And if you don't want to go over the complexities of a JSON, again, this would be super helpful, right? So this is available for the most commonly used resources. So most of them will be available like Service, Kafka, Ingress, etc. But for those of there are some where the forms are not available. So if you want support for forms for those, please always feel free to reach out to some of us from the team, right? Yep. So the next sort of highlight here is that, as you can see, the sequence variables, resource center, and releases are now available at the project level itself. So the idea for this was to reduce click ops and for you to be enabled, for you to be able to navigate to particular environments and view these from there itself. So for example, for secrets and variables that you want to view from an environment context, you can choose the particular environment and you can view it from here and modify it from, yeah. Um, Again, now the resource center. Again, if you want to look at the overview of the particular resources for the environment and what their status is, and even their individual configs or overrides, you can see it from here itself, right? The idea is that usually in the old view, we were spending a lot of time going to a particular environment when you wanted to uh, just access one resource. So the idea was, if while bringing this outside, you can have you can quickly switch between them and get information about the particular resource or particular secrets and variables that you're looking for, right? And yeah, and lastly, it's the releases page. So here, if you let me actually go to a live environment. Yeah. So if you're someone who is performing multiple releases in a multi environment setup, you would be probably doing a bunch of different releases for different environments. So here, this feature would be particularly helpful, especially during that phase where you're doing multiple releases, where you can just switch between the environment that you want to, and you can do a release from there itself. And just want to show you guys a pretty cool feature, which is the live tab. So let me choose any resource here. So this is for you to get a live view of the resource. So you get real-time monitoring from here. If there are any outputs that you've exposed, you can see it from here itself. And you can also manage your deployment pipelines by viewing the pipeline activity here. If you want to look at the recent release history for this particular resource, you can view it here. So right now, I think nothing's populated here because there is no recent release history. And another thing is you can see the diff between, again, the blueprint and environment. So you can look at the particular override for these resource. And again, the override history tab has been moved inside here, right? So this uh, concludes sort of the showcase of the new UI, and we really strongly recommend all of you to make the switch to the new UI because all the new features that are coming and the entire team is working on. A lot of exciting things are definitely coming, and all the support for this will be there only in the new UI. So to switch to the new UI, you can actually just go here and just click on confirm. I'll just show you how that looks like. Um, so this is how it would look like if you're on the old UI. You can just go over here, click on confirm, and start using the new UI itself. Um, yep. I think that's pretty much it from my end. Thanks for joining Facets Office Hours, and we'll probably just leave a bunch for questions. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments.